guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I am showing you 3 different ways in which you can make your very own tomato sauce at home. So we are first going to begin by preheating our oven to 200 degrees Celsius, and here I have some really ripe tomatoes, and what I am going to do is roast the tomatoes and onions for all the 3 tomato sauces in one go. So I'm just going to kind of bifurcate the tray and create 2 sections. So the first section has the tomatoes that I'll need for the ketchup, the second for the chili sauce, and the third for the barbecue sauce. So now with a foil sheet, you don't have to be precise. I've just rolled the foil sheet a couple of times till it became sturdy enough to create that partition, and it just helps me understand what portion of the tomatoes needs to be used for what sauce. But if you're making just one sauce from these 3 recipes, you don't have to do this obviously. So just lay it out on the tray, and you don't have to roast the tomatoes also. Actually, it's totally your choice. You can completely just boil the tomatoes and add the raw onions and cook it later on, which I will show you. But I really love adding that extra deep complexity in flavors, which I feel is achieved only when you roast it. It gives it a really incredible sweetness and a different kind of flavor that you wouldn't get if you just simply boiled the tomatoes. But the choice is yours. Both either ways are going to taste great. So here I have the onions and tomatoes all ready, and I'm just going to add a good helping of some cold pressed coconut oil. As I've mentioned in my earlier videos, I generally prefer to have cold pressed coconut oils in all of my meals, and these will now go in the oven for about 40 minutes to roast well. 40 to 45 minutes. They will be really nice and charred, and that's what you want. They will develop a really good flavor. So this is my garlic, which I will add later. So if you add the garlic right now, it's just going to burn to a crisp. 5 minutes before the timer goes off, you're going to pop these into the oven as well. You don't want to add it earlier because it's just going to burn. So after 40 to 45 minutes of roasting, my veggies are ready, and look how gorgeous they look. We're going to use these veggies and start making our sauces. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is make the roasted tomato ketchup. This is incredibly delicious and tastes just like store-bought ketchup. So there is no reason why you shouldn't make this ketchup at home, because it's very easy as well. You're just going to plop everything into a blender jar and then blend it. My blender, guys, gave way just after I filmed this, so I have to put it in another blender, the steel one which you can see right here. So I've blended in that, and I'm going to add this to the sieve and then just pass it through the sieve. And I also like to use half a cup of water to get as much of the pulp out. What I prefer, I have added it over here, but what I would recommend is also that you add some of that water to the mixer or the blender jar to get all the other pureed veggies out as well. You do not want to waste anything. I did add a little bit of that to the blender jar and emptied it into the sieve. Use a spoon to really get the pulp of that veggies out. You do not want to waste anything. Get as much of the pulp as you can. Also scrape the bottom of the sieve because all the good stuff stays over there. And look at our pre-cooked tomato ketchup, which is going to become really delicious now in some time. I'm going to pour this into a saucepan and just keep stirring it with a spoon. And firstly, this is on high heat. We want to bring it to a boil, and you want to keep boiling it for at least 3 to 4 minutes. And after it comes to a nice rolling boil like so, we will add first all of the other ingredients, which is basically just some sugar and some cider vinegar. So I've used apple cider vinegar. You can use any vinegar that you have on hand, but make sure that it's natural vinegar and not the synthetic vinegar that is also available in stores. This is all natural apple cider vinegar. Now I'm also going to add some salt for seasoning, and here I'm going to add some red chili powder. Now a quick note about this red chili powder is that when you add this, the one that I have used here is a little on the spicier side, so I added a little bit of it, because of which the color continues to remain a little bit orange. Now because of the lockdown, it's a little difficult to get access to Kashmiri red chili powder or sweet red paprika powder. So if you can get your hands on those, do add a generous amount of that red chili powder, because it will give you a nice red color to the ketchup. Unfortunately, I couldn't find it, so I had to make do with what I had. Either ways, the ketchup taste remains unchanged. It's still, regardless of how much red chili powder you add, it tastes exactly like the store-bought ketchup. However, there will be a difference in the color. I will be showing you what the end result looks like if you add the paprika or the Kashmiri red chili powder from a video that I had filmed earlier on. So you just keep stirring this till the ketchup or till the tomato puree has reduced to this extent. Like you can literally see the bottom of that saucepan. That's how much you have to cook it out, and that takes about 10 to 12 minutes on a simmer after it comes to a boil. So now we'll pour it in a jar and it is ready to serve. I like to refrigerate it, let it cool down, because it thickens as it cools. And this is the ketchup that I made, adding paprika powder and Kashmiri red chili powder. Look at how red that looks, exactly like store-bought tomato ketchup. And both of these ketchup variations, they taste the exact same. The only difference is that in the earlier one, which I showed you in the beginning, contains a little spicier red chili powder, because of which I had to reduce the amount of the chili powder that I used. Now let's move on to make our hot and sweet chili sauce. This is my favorite because it has sweet and a kick of chili as well. So first, before we crush our tomatoes, we will soak these dried red chilies in hot boiling water, and I'll cover it with a lid and let it soak for about 30 to 40 minutes. So if you're making only this chili sauce, then the thing that I would recommend is before you start roasting your tomatoes, you do this. So by the time your tomatoes have roasted, your chilies will be nice and soaked and rehydrated with the water. All the quantities for the sauces are down in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. And now we follow the exact same procedure. We add all of the ingredients into a blender jar, and we also add the soaked rehydrated chilies and make it into a paste. Now I'll chuck that paste into a sieve. Look at that color. That color has an incredible amount of flavor, and your chili sauce is going to be out of this world delicious. Just do the exact same thing. We're going to pass it through the sieve. We use half a cup of water. Now I have added that half cup of water directly into the blender jar and have swirled it around to get all that extra puree that was stuck in the sides and everything out. We do not want to waste anything. And then we start passing it through the sieve again, and I'll also use my spoon, mash that, get as much puree out from the inside as well as the bottom of the sieve. And this is that thick, lush, deep, rich red color of the chili sauce. Now that's exactly what I'm telling you. The more chili powder you add, the more red color it will have, in case of the ketchup as well. But when you're making the ketchup, the heat in the chili powder has to be minimal. That's the reason why we use paprika or Kashmiri, because it only adds color. Here it also adds heat. We follow the exact same procedure. We boil this for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then we lower the heat to simmer for about 12 to 14 minutes till it starts to really thicken. Now that it has come to a boil, I have lowered it down to a simmer, and I'm adding my sugar and vinegar and some salt for seasoning, and then I'm going to stir it again and let it simmer gently for about 12 to 15 minutes. Look at that color, guys. This has an incredibly delicious flavor, and it goes so well with your wraps and sandwiches. Here's a close-up shot of it bubbling away. It cannot get more delicious than this. Once it has reached that consistency where you can see the bottom of the saucepan while you're stirring it, you pour it into a glass jar, let it cool down to room temperature first, and then you pop it into the refrigerator for an entire day. The flavors develop and the sauce thickens. And now we move to the final sauce, that's the barbecue sauce from the same tomatoes that we roasted. So add the tomatoes, onion and garlic, but this time, in addition to all these veggies, we are also going to add a thumb-sized piece of ginger, and we are going to grind this entire thing to a paste. put it back into the sieve and follow the exact same procedure. I have half a cup of water which I've added to the blender to get all the remaining puree out, and now I'm going to pass all of this through a sieve. The procedure throughout remains the exact same. There are only a few variations in the spices that you add in each of the flavors. That is the reason why I tell you that this is the easiest tomato sauce that you can make, and there is absolutely no reason why you need to buy store-bought bottles which have so many chemicals, flavor enhancers, artificial colors, chemicals. Like, you really don't need that. It's so easy to make your own at home. You're going to follow the exact same procedure. This time though, instead of sugar, we're going to add jaggery, and then we're going to add some apple cider vinegar, some soy sauce. Here I have some red chili powder, cumin powder, and salt for seasoning. The red chili powder is the spicier one, so just helps balance the flavors out. As I said earlier, all the quantities for all the 3 recipes are down in the description box below, so check it out. And now again, after it comes to a boil, we reduce it to a simmer and let it simmer for 12 to 15 minutes. It reduces considerably. While you stir it, you can see the bottom of the saucepan. That's when it's ready. The same thing, we pour it into a glass jar, let it cool down to room temperature, and then pop it in the fridge, and your 3 incredible sauces are ready. You can have it with anything you like. So let me know in the comments below which tomato sauce are you going to make first, and don't forget to post a photo to Instagram when you do. Tag me at MindBodyGlow with Samina so I know when you make these at home. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video and you make these sauces at home. They store really well. If you like this video and you want to see more of these kind of videos, give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. There's a subscribe button coming up right on my face. Just click on that and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new video, which is every Tuesday and Friday. So until I see you again next time, goodbye and happy cooking.